Oh, I see what we're dealing with today. Bad design. That is what we're dealing with today, and we're starting off pretty strong, I would say, because what the hell is this supposed to be telling me? That avocados are sexy? Yeah, I already knew that. You can do better than that, okay? You can come up with something maybe as cool as the Mohawk place next door, but that? I can't help you there, man. This magnificent haircut. That is magnificent. That is. And see, the nice part about something like this is it's not gonna stay around very long. You know, you do it, you get your laughs, and then you can buzz it off and hopefully wash out the dye. Hopefully it's a very, very temporary dye and not a bunch of dyes that are going to keep that face on the back of your head for God only knows how long. I really, really hope that... I would assume that's the idea, right? That this guy's doing it for a day, and then he's just going to buzz it all off and wash his head. Very simple if that's the case. If that dye is meant to be a longer-term thing, I'm sorry, you weirdo. Shower gel or some shampoo. Right. You know what I need right about now? I need me a little bit of shampoo, you know? My hair's a little grungy. I've been filming a music video, so this packaging makes it look like an x-ray of the guy's clothes. Does it? I guess? Wom or an? The wom needs an. The an needs M. Slide. So is this where I'm supposed to pee? Do I pee in here or do I go out into the alleyway? What the hell does this mean, dude? The WOM needs an. That's not true. You're a strong, independent WOM. The final stretch. Only one can host the, whatever. I don't know what this is. This is odd? I mean, it's not impossible to tell what the hell is going on. It just looks kind of weird. You know, it looks a little airbrushed, but it definitely looks better than the avocado guy. We can absolutely admit that it looks better than that. Maybe the font is a little weird, because why does the F have to be this giant swoopy thing, and then this text is... Man, I don't know, we could sit here and nitpick this sucker apart. At least it looks competent enough in certain respects. Not entirely. It's not great, but I feel like it's gonna be the best thing we see today. Okay. Well, that sure is a bicycle, and well, I guess giant planters go right in the center of the bicycle lane. It's kind of cool how everywhere in the United States, at least, I'm not sure where this is. What is that, Alberta? Or what is it, British Columbia? Is that where this is? I don't know 100%, obviously, but it seems like if you ride a bicycle, whoever designs the cities hates you and wants you to have a terrible time. I know they want us in the streets with cars, but I am not going to be putting my bicycle out in the middle of the road with cars. They're going to hit me. People are going to start dying. And look, I know that there are cyclists out there that need to chill the hell out. They're not everything. They're not him. You know what I mean? But I can see why a lot of cyclists get so pissed off all the time because of, you know, stuff like this. I ride a bicycle? No, me, I guess. Doctor's office gave me an address and told me they were in the blue building. Okay. Oh, okay. Sure. I've never seen that before. Of course you would be looking for a building that is blue, not the building that is named blue. I mean, I guess it would also have been somewhat easy to find Mass whatever healthcare center up there. I would assume that that's where your doctor's office would be, but... whatever. That's neither here nor there, really. But okay, come on. This is pretty easy. This would have been so easy. How did you not see this coming? How did you not understand what your assignment was? And why did it need to have a goofy design? Just the one butter would have sufficed, in my opinion, but no. You had to try and be cute, and you screwed it up, and it looks incredibly stupid. Rented a Chevy Blazer. Glad to see physical buttons, but too bad you can't tell what they are while driving. A blazer? What the hell is a blazer? Okay, cool, yeah. So we've got physical buttons back, but they're completely hidden. I just have to rely on muscle memory, or this is even more dangerous than a giant goddamn iPad, because I have to, like, hunch my head over. I have to bend down to see what these are while driving, which arguably pulls you farther away from the road than having to look at a stupid tablet. How in the world did we do this pretty much perfectly for so long, and because Tesla came in and decided they wanted to try and reinvent the f***ing wheel, now car engineers are stupid, I guess? Like, it's a serious profession. Designing vehicles. That's what people do for a living, and they've become so bad at it, it's actually kind of crazy. This is moronic, okay? Don't go down the road of changing the turning signal stalk to buttons. Don't do that. All right, cars just continue to get dumber by the day and more dangerous to operate by the day. Knock it off. How did you get this job? Dunkin' Energy. Energy for the fun of it. A new lineup of fizzy energy drinks from Dunkin' made with vitamins and minerals and caffeine from caffeine and guarana for a revitalizing burst of energy. Or I could get a cup of coffee, because that also contains caffeine from caffeine. Okay? Good God, I feel like places are getting a little too crazy with the caffeine content. You remember that lemonade from Panera that killed a couple people? Dude, chill out. I think you will enjoy this terrible carpeted bathroom with a tub you apparently just sort of fall into to use. Okay, yeah, you do just have to plop right the in there. This is disgusting. This is horrifying, okay? I mean, it's got a design aesthetic going on, but I think it's crazy, by the way, Iowa Realtors or Iowa Association of Realtors, that this photo was used. Someone took a picture of this bathroom with what looks like shit on the floor in front of the toilet, like carpet stains, like someone just dumped right there, and no one thought to, I don't know, clean it, or even crazier, just remodel this bathroom. Someone has to take the L on this bathroom and fix it, because this is awful. I actually cannot, I don't have the time or the brain power right now to explain how disgusted I am with this photograph, okay? A carpeted bathroom is one thing, but a carpeted bathroom that is in a house that is for sale that has stains on the floor is a whole other thing. Do not put carpet in your bathroom. It will grow mold. You will have health problems. Okay, so we've got a heated floor pad for your doghouse that has to plug into an AC outlet. Okay. I don't know why we're describing what this thing does by supposedly lighting the doghouse on fire. That's not what we want to do. That is absolutely not what we want to do. We want to make sure the dog is heated safely, okay, when he's out there, not lit on fire, all right? So maybe you've gone the other direction, the incorrect direction when it comes to advertising this product, because I'm not gonna buy it. I think you're gonna kill my dog. I heart what? What do you heart? What the fuck is this actually supposed to stand for? I heart car parts? What is this supposed to? Is there a city or whatever out there that is what? You know what? I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This is still weird. All right, I don't like it. Get it out of my face. Find your inner Saurus under the arches. Okay, I think I see what the problem here is. Or do I? Hold on. The Heart of Seattle Center. Oh, it's the ferry. Okay, gotcha. I have not ridden the ferry in Seattle. Okay. In room with a T-Rex, dance with butterflies, blah, blah, blah. That is true. Men car deck. I'm confused. Find your inner... What's the problem? Someone's gonna point it out to me, and it's gonna seem really obvious. If it is what I think it is, like, my instinct tells me that, I don't know, people think the dinosaur is placed weirdly behind her or something like that. If that's what it is, the way you see it is more of a you problem than bad design, but I don't know what the problem is here. I'm trying. I really am. I am not as perceptive as some of you guys, man. Whoa, that is ugly. But you know what? So what? This is at least well done. This is sort of that good execution, awful taste sort of deal that bad design can sometimes fall into. It looks clean and organized, which is nice, okay? And while your cabinets sure are busy as hell, at the very least, them being painted weird does not matter, and they are painted well enough, in my opinion. Please flash after use. Trust me, man, I don't need to flash after. By using this urinal, I am flashing it. So what do you mean? Also, I know that it means please flush. How? Hold on, let's zoom in here for just a second. Yeah, how? I don't see a way to do that. I guess I can't. Yeah, no ability to do so, but thank you for reminding me of the rule I cannot follow, apparently. The panic button on my key fob is huge, so I can't have it in my pocket without regularly setting off my truck's alarm unless I keep this makeshift cover on it. Gotta say, if someone has to create a solution that you created the problem for, that's not good design at all. That's horrible, okay? I don't know why is this a fob that you need to stick into a slot in your car as well? Because that's kind of what it looks like here. Like, genuinely. I don't know. It's lame. It's lame, man. Gas station uses similar design for pump 1 and 7. The first pick is 7, and the second is 1. I almost lost my gas to another pump. Thankfully, there was no one there. Oh, what? Oh, I see. Gotcha. A really wonky-ass looking angle. Okay. Yeah, that would confuse the hell out of me as well. Goon, treat yourself. God, that word is so stupid. Can we just go back to not hiding it behind a dumbass word? Like, I'm sorry. Call it what it is, you know? That might be one of the words that I know what it means. I just feel like maybe we should be a little bit more honest, you know? Quit hiding something. It's like, to me, people treat, like, doing it as some sort of shameful act. Maybe maybe it means a different, I don't know, variation of the act that is implied to be shameful, but all I've heard is people use it as a stand-in for masturbation, okay? Which is not some shameful weird act, and I don't know why we need to give it a goddamn stupid nickname. Okay, oh no, please, why? Again, really well done. If this is indeed a real tattoo, which I assume that it is, really well done. Genuinely across the board, props to the artist in my opinion, but what the does this mean? What does it mean? Why is it weird gangster SpongeBob? Why does it turn into the guy that I've had dreams about every night for the last 6 years? What is going on? Free me from my eternal torment, I beg of you. Self-service ice cube dispenser. Okay, what the hell? Come on. Why? Why, guys? Is this a Sam's Club in China? Is that what I'm looking at here? That's crazy. Why did I not assume? I know that a lot of these stores are spread across the world. You know, I've heard about like Walmarts overseas and whatnot. I guess it's just strange to actually see. And nah, I am not buying ice from those at all. People are, by and large, still insanely nonchalant about spreading germs. I'm not a germaphobe, but you might think I was in this case. I mean, I do say that. I still get fountain drinks from fast food places, even though we really shouldn't be doing that. Those machines are vile and disgusting. But, you know, I guess it all comes down to what we deem worth it. Is it okay if I get a flu or the flu for a couple weeks or something crazy like that, as long as the Baja Blast was delightful? I think so. That's me, though. I don't know how you feel about it. Okay. No, I understand. Trust me. I understand better than a lot of people, actually. But why? I mean, it's mini golf. Like, I guess this was just this is like a cop-out, essentially. This is an easy one, right? But I still don't quite think they thought it through. Or maybe they did. Maybe they thought it through in a very detailed sense, and it didn't matter. You know what I mean? Okay. The jacket is ugly, but let's be real, it's still kind of fire, okay? Not something I'd wear more than maybe once. I'd wear it once as like a joke, but you know damn well you'd start to feel kind of cool, you know, for a minute because you're the weirdo. Sometimes that's fun, right? Why do you think I wore dad shirts all those years? Because it is kind of cool. But this thing probably cost like $8,000 for no reason, and for that, I'm out. Happy birthday, Mick Jagger. I do not understand why they felt the need to use that font and why they made this image with that font and released it anyway. There is no goddamn way that they did not read this. I cannot believe it just sat up. This is weird. I know I give too much credit to the quality assurance process more often than not when it comes to stupid things like this, but for my own sanity, I have to assume that someone is going to double check something along the way, and this right here shows me that no one ever does. This double laundry bag with contradictory notation. Okay, so light and dark, well, I mean, just put it up against the wall and don't flip it around while there's stuff in it. You might confuse people. I feel like if it's in the center of a room and someone can approach it from both sides, yeah, it's gonna be a little obnoxious. But if you stick it up against the goddamn wall, like most people will stick their laundry hampers, then cool. As you walk by, you look at the bottom, that's the correct orientation. Done. Now you know which is which. I feel like that's pretty simple. It's weird. I don't necessarily know what the point of doing it this way was, but there you go. Pretend you're a realtor. Give me your best sales pitch for a house that has this in the bathroom. I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit down for 1 second here and pretend like I can actually come up with a pitch that makes this thing seem like a benefit, okay? Also, the way that it is built, it looks like look, so we got this little cavity here so you can hit the flushing button on top of the toilet, right? It looks like a giant rubber thing stretched around the toilet, which, wow. But now I'm starting to think about something. Okay, let's say it's not flushing properly, and I need to get in there and adjust something in the tank, which is pretty normal, all right? You do have to take a look in there and sometimes replace the assembly or there's pieces in there I don't know the name of, but you know what I'm talking about, all right? Toilet maintenance is part of every homeowner's life, all right? Or at least it will be sooner than you think. And this looks like it completely prevents that. Scary, disgusting weirdness aside, this will make it harder to actually fix your toilet. Okay, pretty cool. I'm lying. Look, too many of these are well done despite being poorly designed. far too many of these. I feel like these are in the incorrect place. All right, we've done awful taste but great execution many, many times in the past. And I feel like what I'm looking at now is supposed to be that in some respects. Okay, the toilet thing was not good execution, or it was awful taste, but a few measures beyond what I would expect for awful taste. Lung-shaped ashtray. Okay, cool. So you can see in real time as you ash your cigarette what your lungs are slowly turning into. That's probably the exact intention, actually. Over the years, you'll stain this thing with cigarette ash and it will look disgusting and mimic what you look like on the inside, and it might be a wake-up call for you to stop smoking. Also, please, for the love of God, stop vaping, all right? That too. Just stop inhaling things that kill you. You know what I recommend? And this is what I'm gonna do, right? If I make it to, say, 85 years old, then I'll pick up smoking. Yeah, why the f*** not? I'm 85. I don't care. Why would I do that while I'm young? Why not give my body something to do in my twilight years? You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, that doesn't look like at least. I don't really know what to say, unfortunately. As long as someone didn't come in here, do a handstand and projectile on the walls, which does not look like what happened, okay. I mean, it's ugly. I don't understand why this would be, you know, an attractive option for anybody designing a bathroom, but then again, what do I really know? Okay, I read memes for a living. That's my job, okay? And outside of that, I mess with cameras and stuff. So I'm not really a designer, okay? I'm only a little gay. I'm only like half gay, all right? So I'm not very good at the interior design part. I haven't unlocked that part of my brain because I haven't stepped over into 55% gay territory, right? Which I think is the legal cutoff for interior decorators. Waterford Collision. Oh, come on. Why did they do a Gavin Belson from Silicon Valley? Why did they do that? If you don't know what I am referencing, please watch Silicon Valley. I do think it's one of the best TV shows ever made. Genuinely. You will get to the part I'm talking about and you will thank me. But really, what the hell? Waterford. Mr. Waterford, for the love of God. Why? I mean, maybe they did it and thought of it as an advertising gimmick. It really draws people's eyes to the car because it doesn't look entirely like a f***ing balls. Not entirely. Once you really sit down and you look at it, it looks okay. If a little cheap and shitty, right? At worst, cheap and shitty. But maybe that's the idea. In the same vein as those advertisements you see while driving around that say something along the lines of, "Do billboards work? You just proved they did. Advertise here, buddy." Statue of Peter the Great in St. Petersburg, Russia. Why? Do we have any Russian viewers that can explain why this might be the case? I assume it's just another example of cheap commission. They did great everywhere else, but what happened? Did someone steal his head at some point and the only replacement they could get was half its normal size? Or maybe alternatively, that's just what the dude looked like. Can you imagine that? Maybe he was the product of certain genetic issues, which led his head to being really... Maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Bought this to store beads, but what the hell is this order? Morning to noon to bed to evening? Okay, so we've got Sunday morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning. Cool, we got through the whole thing. Then we've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, noon. Sunday, Monday, Okay, now we're in bed. And then Eve. Yeah, Eve and bed need to be swapped. They do. And then it's fine, right? Because you've got your 4 times of day you should be going in and taking your pills. Am I the crazy one here? That is an odd order, though. No. The Eve stands for eventually. You'll get to those pills eventually. Thank you, Tap Tap Tippy 2. That is actually more sensical than I expected a explanation to be, even if it is / sarcastic or silly. All right, cool. The Giants took a shit outside again. How great. I say again, I say unto thee again. How does nobody say anything? Like, can you imagine being one of the workers that has to, like, cut these hedges? I mean, maybe on the ground level it's a little bit different, but I feel like even if they didn't notice, someone else would notice and say, "Hey, do you guys know that, like, the plants outside look like giant pieces of shit? Did you notice that?" And then, of course, even if I'm not the one in charge of trimming these bushes and tending to this, I would still be like, "Oh God, don't worry, we'll figure this out. We have to." Maybe leave a little bit more texture on them or change their shape. Maybe make them square or cubed off at the top or something rather than smooth all the way around so that you avoid this particular issue, you know? I think that would be the way to go. And I do think that it's worth putting in the extra effort to make one's home or a place of residence a little less You know, I do believe that if you look outside into the courtyard and you see giant turds, your day is going to always be measurably worse than if you look outside and just see squared off bushes, you know? Again, maybe that's me. You know, I do a lot of projecting here, all right? Do you agree with me? Maybe mention something down in the comments. Or hell, you can even mention it in the comments on my channel that's down in the description below. Robin Nelson, my personal channel. You guys should definitely go over there. This sign is a picture of a sign of the same shape. Automaster, that's actually really funny. Okay, that one might actually be a gimmick, because that is pretty funny. That's the sort of thing that the moment you look at it, you're not gonna stop looking at it. You might even be dragged in there just to ask them about the sign. I know they get questions about it. My old man bought an alarm clock with large numbers. The instruction manual is in the ridiculously small print. Oh, that's actually insane. Come on! Come on, no one thinks about anything. Okay, wait, hold on. I gotta crane my neck here a little bit. Space, space, and space. That's a lot of space bars I don't need. So fast kids or fakistids. I don't know what that means. Okay, nice, dude. You spent tons of money on that tattoo. It's highly detailed, and wow, good luck. The hotel I'm staying at features a glass-ceilinged men's oh, no, I've seen this. We actually saw this in the last video that I recorded. Not released, but recorded. I'm still mad about it. We sell Tories. Tors? You really couldn't put that tire anywhere else? Like maybe the E or something? I don't know. Condo developers planted trees under the roof. Genius. I am sure that they get plenty of water and have so much more room to grow underneath that overhang. All right, you know what? This one doesn't belong here at all. I have nothing bad to say about this one. Could not find my 102 apartment? Oh, yeah, that's still not a 2, though. It's not, though, right? I don't know why they combined a 9 and a 2. The 9 is a little f***ed up anyway. It's a little sharp. Okay, perfect. Can't attach a hose. Why? Why did you bedazzle your Vaseline jar? At night, this window makes it so that you can see into other cubicles. Oh, cool. What the hell, man?